this light from this little reflection right here. You can't even see it. Sun is sometimes really, really harsh right there. So in the last couple weeks or months, well, since January, it's only been 1 month in the year, I've been trying to stay consistent and trying to kind of just post videos about the things that I'm into, the things that I want to dive a little bit deeper on, things that I've been discovering about myself, whether it's stationery, traveling, drawing, things like that. And I noticed that I never really introduced myself, or who I am, what I do, kind of a little bit with like the reading video that I made like over here. But I wanted to make this video just to reintroduce myself for the last couple people who have subscribed to the channel, who are here enjoying the videos and the content that I'm making. I know I'm still a very, very small channel in the grand scheme of things. 500 subscribers is not a lot of subscribers compared to like other channels that I'm watching or that you're probably watching. But if you think about it, 500 people in one room is a lot of people. So I'm grateful if you're one of the people who have subscribed recently, or if you've been subscribed since. Nami, you're always in the video. If you're one of the people who have been subscribed for a long time, since, I don't know, 2018 is when we made our first video, which was about Fortnite. So I won't show you that video yet. Maybe once we hit like a milestone, like crazy, I don't know, 5K or something like that. 5K is like not a lot, but 5,000 people is a lot of people. Wanted to kind of just chat with you guys and talk to you about the type of content that I've been really passionate about, the type of content that I'm wanting to create, and a little bit about my experience in just the space as a whole and the direction I'm wanting to take, and maybe gives you a little bit of an idea of what the videos are going to look like moving forward. Sorry if you see my cats and the mess that's over there. Just ignore this. We'll be good. Yeah, so I started this channel originally 2018 because I was helping one of my friends with his channel. And I was like, well, I'm just going to start posting. And I'm into video. I run a business in video production. I have my own video production company here in Indy, in the Midwest. And I have the gear, I have the talent. I think I could do it. But talking to the camera is it's a skill that you kind of grow into. And I'm still, very much getting comfortable talking to the camera. I tell my clients and everyone set up the lights, and yeah, it's really easy. Just look at me and we'll have a conversation. But when there's nobody on the other side of the camera and you're just looking down the barrel of the lens, it is very intimidating, especially when you're doing it in public, which I've gotten better at, like not carrying and stuff like that. So I had the gear, I had the skills, so I started growing the channel then. It's been on and off, more off than on, creating videos here and there. I went and thought I had a little bit more direction when during COVID, just because everyone was inside and there was like nothing else to do. So I started making videos there. I was kind of going crazy, I was kind of just going crazy. Then I started kind of just getting more into like video production and kind of just wanting to grow my business. So I was in a lot of sets. I was a part of larger teams when it came to the video production space. I was DPing, director of photography for those who are not sure about the term, editing, shooting, behind the scenes, and while still doing like photography and stuff like that on the side for myself and my clients. I learned a lot in those spaces and then eventually transitioned over to a role where I was a sort of like business development coach, more like customer, CSM, customer success manager. But I was a community coach for other businesses who didn't necessarily want to start their own video production company, but wanted to kind of just take off and get more clients, be able to price more. And throughout my journey of my career as a filmmaker and as a photographer, I always enjoyed helping people kind of just troubleshoot whatever problems they were dealing with, kind of find solutions to maybe questions or concerns that they had about dealing with specific situations. So that specific role was something that I was very happy in, while still being able to pursue my career in filmmaking and photography and stuff like that. I'm still a contractor there, and I'm still very much running my video production company, growing other things on the side, other business. My main job is playing with cameras and lights and directing people and doing that. But throughout that journey, there's always been an edge to create a personal brand. Following people like Peter McKinnon, Matty Hapoya, Casey Neistat. If you guys are familiar with any of those, that was the world of YouTube that I was coming in. I think there was a lot of friction there, especially when I was trying to grow my brand, because I'm very much in the field and doing all these things for a living. So coming back home and then setting up the camera and talking to myself after I'm sort of like burned out I was really forcing that. So when it came to creating content about those things, camera gear, reviews, and things like that, I was burnt out before even starting. So that was a lot of friction between me getting up and creating and wanting to pursue that, because I felt like there wasn't a lot of things that I was really interested about speaking, if that makes sense. So it was just very on and off. So then maybe last January, we started creating videos for my friend's YouTube channel, which I'll link over here as well. That was for playtests, and that's really fun. That's still something that we do. That's still something that I'm very much happy doing, and kind of just helping out with my expertise in like the video production side, and just being able to sort of like do like the business development stuff, or like when it comes to like networking. And of course, I fell in love with kind of just playing games, playing board games, socializing a little bit more. And while being like my work, it kind of just all takes place here in the computer. It felt good to get outdoors, travel. We started to get into cycling maybe like a year and a half ago. So that's something that we're very much into as well, like as a group of friends. And that's something that I want to incorporate into like some of my future videos. This is, I guess, at the end of the day, it's more like a series on kind of just reintroducing myself and documenting the process of what it's like to grow a personal brand from someone that's coming from a freelancing sort of like contractor perspective. So at the end of the day, I want this to be like very raw and authentic, and I want to make it enjoyable to watch the growth and the progress. Not only to kind of just document it for the sake of documenting it, but for myself to be able to, one, keep myself accountable, and two, just see the progress. Like at the end of the year, all the work that I'm putting in, all the conversations that I'm having, all the organizations or brands that are looking forward to working with me, or that I'm looking forward to working with or collaborate with. I want to see that growth. And I've had some sprinkles of that here and there when I thought I wanted to kind of just push for the personal brand, like the YouTube stuff, but I never quite saw it through. I don't think I was in the right like space of mind to be able to do that, and I didn't really know like what I was aiming for. I was kind of just creating for the sake of wanting to be the people that I was looking at creating content. So the Peter McKinnons, the Casey Neistats, the Manny Hapoyas, and I didn't really have like an essence for who I was. I was just trying to copy, and I feel like that was like another part of the friction that kind of stopped me from doing the thing or kind of just going full time. So, and kind of doing the playtest thing and, exploring what that kind of looked like and being a little bit more hands-on, doing things that I really enjoyed. I think it was really cool. And that kind of just gave me inspiration to kind of come back and do some of these things, and, telling students and giving experience in the field of growing their business. I realized that I had a lot of advice that I was giving that I wasn't myself following. So that was a nice realization that I had, in kind of just saying like, hey, like you have all this advice, you know exactly what to do. You know how tough it's going to be, you know how sort of like an uphill battle this is going to feel like, and you have to start somewhere. Especially if I'm not wanting to rely on doing client work for the rest of my life, and wanting to grow something that's like built for myself, um, or surrounding myself with the things that I really enjoy. Here we go. Things that I want to do for fun, things that are aligned with my hobbies. Um, those are things that I really want to be doing. What are you doing? My mom went to Australia during the holidays last year, and she brought this Milky Way from. I don't think you can see it. Oh fuck! She brought this Milky Way from Australia, and it definitely tastes different. So fast forward to the beginning of this year, when I've been really into like stationery and cycling and kind of just like drawing and more analog, more tangible things, and going more for like experiences more than anything. I did want to focus on and go all out, without kind of just like burning myself to the ground and give myself grace. I wanted to just make videos, not force them, but make them about the things that I really enjoyed in the moment. So journaling has been helping me a lot because of my ADHD and just being able to talk to myself and get the thoughts out of my head. I feel like that was one of the problems that I was having. I was having a lot of ideas. One of the quotes that I used to tell my students was, "You're addicted to preparation, but you're allergic to execution." And I fell into that trap myself. So, um, and just not forcing the topics. And it's still very much like an issue that I'm sort of like working through, when the furnace just turned on. So if you hear noise in the background, my bad. I wanted to kind of just create content around the things that I really enjoyed and not force them. And it's been working so far, right? Kind of just sharing my love for journaling and stationery as a whole, sharing my love with, falling in love back with reading, and maybe learning new skills like learning how to draw, which is something that I really wanted to kind of get into, kind of just been sketching here and there and working on a larger sort of like documentary piece, maybe like later down the road, like later this year. I wanted to explore with a lot of those things that are not necessarily yielding any results for moving my career forward, but are just things that I want to put out there. It's very hard to try to live a somewhat double life, is what I would call it, with like my business work and then like my personal side and like my hobbies and things that I want to do. But if I could get paid, or if money was no object, and I could just do one thing for the rest of my life, what would I come back to? It's a question that I would ask myself, and that I definitely want you to ask yourself as well. And whatever it is that you're looking to do, is that if you money was no object and you could do anything for whatever reason, just for fun, to create something, to leave an impact, for me would be to create these videos, not only for myself, but for others who are wanting to aspire to be more into their hobbies, to learn a new skill, to live a slower, more meaningful life. That's been a huge topic in all the videos that I've been making, and a huge, I would say, the biggest thing, and the reason why I want to continue to make these videos, is because I want to help you guys through my videos and my experiences and what I'm enjoying doing, to live a more meaningful, slower, distraction free life. Because with AI and all these things happening across the world, and even in our local neighborhoods, it's hard to try to stay sane and find the joy in the smaller things, in the moments in the present. And that's something that it's been really hard for me to do, is to stay in the present. I'm always thinking on what's next, what's the next goal that I'm looking to achieve, what are the next challenges that I'm looking to overcome, like what big next hurdle, big next project I'm looking to do. And with journaling, that's been helping a lot, which is why my content so far has been just about stationery and pens and writing, which I love. Like I love like just carrying this and just having my thoughts like on a piece of paper. Right now that's what I'm making. And like I said, there's a lot of ideas and a lot of things that I'm still looking to do and enjoy. And in a way, I want to kind of like document my life for the year and see where it goes. It's already yielding a lot of great results. Like I said, there's 500 of you watching these videos, and hopefully that would just continue to grow to make an impact. There's a lot of big ideas that I want to do, and obviously that's going to, you know, require some sort of partnership when it comes to maybe like brands on like certain tools. There's already something in the works for that for the next video that I'm working for, which again kind of just shows me that I'm in the right path right now, and in kind of just focusing, putting my effort in the present things that I can do, and creating the videos that are really meaningful for me, and putting content out there that really resonates with who I am. Hopefully, we'll continue to attract others who also resonate and relate to those things. And I love having conversation in the comments. So continue leaving me comments down below of the things that you guys are doing, the things that you guys are working on, feedback on pens and pencils and book recommendations and stuff like that. I'm reading. Is it pronounced? It's not pronounced Babel, I think, is how they're by R.F. Kuang. I think that's how they pronounce it in the audiobook. I can't remember. I know it's not Babel, but I'm having really fun kind of just reading that and talking about that on threads. That's something that I'm wanting to do a lot more. Is kind of just write my thoughts and just put them out there. So threads kind of just functions as a sort of like daily notes or thoughts that I'm having, sort of like a digital diary outside of like my commonplace journal. And if you want to follow me there, go for it. If not, you just want to stick here on YouTube, like go for it. I love to travel as well, so hopefully we get to do that. I know we're doing that here in March for a convention called Adepticon, which is going to be for playtest, kind of just going and playing some like skirmish games. I'm not sure if you guys are into that. If you want to see me play board games and you want to see the guys play board games, I'll leave that up here as well for you to check out. But again, I just wanted to make this video like very sort of slow and vulnerable and kind of just talking to you guys, and first and foremost kind of just thanking you guys for the support recently. I've been trying to get out of my head and create these videos, and even making this video, like I was supposed to make this yesterday, and there was a lot of like business things that I had to do with like creating proposals and RFPs and all of that. And sometimes I get in my head with like my ADHD, and like I've been able to manage it and like kind of just troubleshoot myself into productivity mode. But I also want to kind of just give myself grace to enjoy my life and sit down and read a book and not think about recording a video about it and going out there and sketching and traveling and not necessarily having to always document that. So I'm trying to implement the teachings and the topics and the themes that I'm wanting to introduce into my videos into my own personal life, because if not, at the end of the day, then it doesn't really reflect who I am, and I'm just creating content for the sake of creating content. So I'm trying to stay within the margins of being productive, not overdoing it, and creating content that's really meaningful, but that's also a reflection of myself. And I think in writing and kind of just expressing myself a little bit more and making these types of videos, it's a little bit easier to kind of just re-ground myself into my goal and like my mantra, what you call it, to make sure that I'm doing things right and that every video that I make gets a little bit better, and every theme or topic or whatever it is that we're talking about that day is beneficial and relatable for you guys. And hopefully you guys are, I know I'm just yapping about myself, but hopefully this makes sense for your life as well. And wanting in whatever role or job you have, and any aspirations of maybe creating a brand for yourself, or maybe not creating a brand for yourself. Maybe you're just into journaling and you just like to escape into the journaling videos, and kind of just listen to people do that. I know my wife loves to look at journaling videos, and she gives me a lot of ideas when it comes to like videos as well about stationery stuff, and I really appreciate that. For whatever it is that you're tuning into or seeking content for, I want to make sure that it's worth your time, that it's formative, maybe educational. I'm not sure. Um, I do know I don't want to talk about cameras and lighting and stuff like that, because I'm over it. Like, there's so many channels that are doing that stuff. I want to do things that are fun. I want to travel. I want to showcase things. Maybe I want to bring conversations about meaningful tech, and cool things that I've managing or finding that are really benefiting my life, that could potentially benefit your life as well. Um, I'm sort of creating content for myself in hopes that that also resonates with you guys who are watching. So I wanted to just make that video and, kind of just give you a little bit more of a background on where we're going with the channel. And I know the large scheme of things, um, I'm not a huge channel. I mean, I have 500 people, but if you try to fit 500 people in this basement, we will for sure not fit. That's a lot of people. So I'm very thankful for all of you guys watching and all of you guys who have tuned in. I have some cool videos coming, and if you have any ideas, I'm always happy to chat in the comments, collaborate, make things happen for you, whether it's stationery, travel stuff. I am looking to document my journey and my goals with cycling as well. There's some big travel, sort of like races and backpacking things that we have in the works, and I want to document that. I think that's really interesting for me. So between journaling and taking photos and traveling and drawing and getting into the arts and cycling, working out, climbing, all that stuff, is who I am as well. Also, board game stuff. That'll probably live separate in the other channel. Again, that's on playtest, but I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. And if something's not working, we'll change it. Something's not beneficial, we'll change it. And if it's something that I just want to keep, I won't change it, and I'll just leave it. But that's all for this video. Like I said, I'm working on another one. I feel like I'm yapping too much now. So thank you guys for watching. If you made it to the end of this video, leave the comment purple monkey in the comments or something, and I'll leave you a note. So yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one.